Look at what your boy made for you for the sake of this video. A cool poster. Does this remind you of something? Maybe a place where you live? Oh, and read this line. Interesting, huh? Yeah, we're actually going to see how to make your colors looks like 10 times better, even 20 if you're brave enough. I just need a moment to introduce you to how color works. Don't worry, no technical stuff, just straight to the point, key concept, as well as some few practical examples.
By the end of this video, you will know why brown is not actually a color.
When we talk about good colors, we usually refer to two big categories, the digital ones and the organic ones. To keep things simple and algorithmic friendly, from now on I'm probably going to call them cinematic and filmic. There are plenty of blending zones, but stay with me. Depending on where you view an image, colors appear differently because of physics. On a screen, colors are represented digitally using additive color synthesis. You know, RGB, pixels, red, green and blue, which mixed together at full intensity gives you white. On the other hand, when you flip through a photography book or when you are dealing with some prints, colors are represented in a subtractive synthesis: cyan, magenta, yellow and black, CMYK. And when cyan, magenta and yellow absorb light, it gives you black. Actually, this is just theoretical because practically a layer of K, which is black, is added to give you richer and deeper blacks. With that being said, on a screen you simply can't replicate a physical and chemical process. This is where all the film emulation and film simulation bubbles comes into play. On the other hand, a screen can give you levels of saturation and luminance that are simply not achievable in a physical media. You know, with prints, with film prints, oil color, acrylic color or whatever. Different media, different output. Now you may prefer a more clinic, a more digital, a more sharp look, or a more filmic and organic one, but by now you probably stumbled across a word, actually two, which are richer tones. If you prefer just one, it should be density. It took me years to understand this concept back in my learning arc in my graphic design school, and at some point I just realized they were all true also in photography, but you know, not only in photography, because it's actually how the universe behave. And please keep in mind, I'm trying to summarize hundreds of pages and years of study into few lines here. But straight to the point, the less luminance a color has, the more saturated it appears. By now, cool kids may have probably already opened Lightroom and toned down the luminance slider on each individual colors. And to be honest, that's pretty much it. This is also what I do to achieve a more saturated and organic look. By lowering the luminance of a color, you are increasing its density, its saturation. Orange and brown, anyone? Actually, it's a bit more complicated than that, and this effect is called Helmholtz Kohlrausch effect. As I was saying, is a bit more complicated, but to keep things simple, bright and saturated colors such as orange appear to have more glow to your eyes, but when you darker that same hue, it loses its glow and it appears to your eyes as brown. But at this point we can go a bit deeper than that. When colors pair well together, it's usually because of contrast. Don't worry, I'm not going to torture your soul with teal and orange, because I'm going on a different direction. Let's just say that in photography, depending on the light, the camera sensor, the lens, but even because of the architecture, some colors that should create contrast appears more contaminated. For instance, this shot I took not too long ago is a very contrasty scene, you know, harsh light, negative space, silhouettes. So what I did to clean it up was make the white part of the wall which was slightly yellowish actual white. And that alone gave the shot much more separation and room for contrast. So this means that by removing colors we are actually improving color separation and color contrast. Since I brought it up, it's worth mentioning that color contrast is often amplified by the shocking experience of our eyes. Because when colors are surrounded by a chain of subtle in-between tones, the wow effect naturally drops. And that's when we start talking about color harmony and color perception, but for today, let's stick to color contrast. This basic knowledge of color theory basically revolves around everything, literally everything. Logo design, branding, photography, movie industry, set design, production design. And please keep in mind that contrast is also a philosophical concept. So, light and dark, love and hate, life and death. Everything is a contrast. Even font pairings is all about contrast. So the next time you create something such as music, photography, filmmaking or whatever, look for contrast. I mean, why do you think they add crunchy bites to smooth food in the first place?